Why today, reaching you live on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Ruth Aguele. President Muhammadu Buhari has left Abuja for Riyadh, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, to attend the third edition of the Future Investment Initiative. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president was sent off at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by his Chief of Staff Abba Kyari, FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello, Police Affairs Minister Megari Dengyadi, Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu, and other senior government officials. President Buhari, accompanied by the governors of Borno, Katsina and Kebbi states, will use the forum to speak about the economic opportunities that abound in Nigeria, the effectiveness of his administration's policy to improve the business environment and invite investors to the country. The Nigerian delegation will leverage on the resources in Saudi's Public Investment Fund to seek foreign investments in critical projects in the country's oil and gas sector, particularly the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano 614-kilometer-long natural gas pipeline project currently being developed by NNPC. Nigerian officials will also take advantage of the summit to accelerate discussions on the planned interest of the Saudi oil company, Aramco, to revamp Nigerian refineries and new investments in the oil and gas sector. The conference is focused on utilizing investment to drive growth opportunities, enable innovation and disruptive technologies, and address global challenges. Now, more than 4,000 delegates from over 90 countries are expected to participate. And in another development, on the sideline of the event, President Buhari will hold bilateral talks with King Salman and King Abdullah the Second of Jordan. In a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says the President, on Wednesday, 30th October 2019, the President will participate in a high-level event titled What is Next for Africa with Presidents of Kenya, Congo, Brazzaville and Burkina Faso. At the end of the summit, President Buhari will on Saturday, 2nd November 2019, proceed to the United Kingdom on a private visit. He is expected to return to Nigeria on 17th November 2019. And back home in Nigeria, there are concerns about Nigeria's participation at the just concluded African-Russian summit held in Sochi, which is said to be a step towards developmental strides, especially as Nigeria stands to benefit more if it can leverage on the opportunity to revive the long-deserted projects initiated by Russia in the early 70s. Now, this came to bear as guest on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria reviewed the visit of President Muhammadu Buhari to Russia. Patricia Esami Luba reports.
The Africa-Russia Summit and Economic Forum, with the sole aim to revive Russia's relations with Africa, has been analyzed to be a positive move not only to Africa, but to Russia, as it was significantly the appropriate time for Russia to join the world powers to play its role in supporting nation building with more focus on Africa. With many agreements made and memorandum of understanding signed between Nigeria and Russia, it beams a ray of hope for both countries, especially with the resuscitating of some projects which had been abandoned for years.
The indication clearly is that there's a project here, there's financing here. In most cases, they will go together. And this is what the Chinese have done, and this is why we're able to deliver on railways, on bridges, on a lot of power projects in the country. I do believe sincerely that we will not fail on this Russian agreement.
It's more than just talking about it, it is about implementing it. And we also at home have to have the will to implement these projects. We have the resources. We have the know-how in terms of structuring the deals to make these projects happen. The chances of failure compared to the past are very, very slim.
What we can take away from this is that, again, we've sought assistance from Russia, but the final destination is what do we do ourselves here to prepare to benefit?
So there can't be any better time now for Russia to venture outside the Russian Federation and the enclave of the Commonwealth of Independent States than now.
Judiciary Adebe, however, was of the opinion that the concerns should be geared towards the responses of the world powers on Russia's interest in Africa, majorly Nigeria's role at the summit.
So what we are going to see now is that we say now that anywhere you see Russia moving in, America's interest is awakened. So now that Russia has organized Africa-Russia Summit, for us, the question is, how does America respond?
The guests are of the views that both regions will stand to have a win-win deal if all mechanisms are put at the appropriate positions. In Abuja, Patricia A. Samiluba, NTA News.
Let's talk flooding now. Water will not be released from the Lagdougou Dam in Cameroon this year, and there should be no cause for alarm over increase of flood. In respect to that, Director General of the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, Clement Inze, stated this in an interview with Mia Ogidi in Abuja.
We are in regular touch with the relevant authorities in Cameroon that operate or monitor, manage the dam, the Lagdougou Dam in Cameroon. As of today, they are still doing impoundment. And when I called my friend, my colleague who is in charge of the dam, he made me know that by this time, today is 28th of October 2019, rainfall should have ceased. That's not part of Cameroon, so nothing like a spilling of water. That the flood that occurred in Taraba, that is at Ibi, and in some local government areas in Adamawa State, was not caused by release of water from Lagdougou Dam in Cameroon. It was caused by heavy rainfall within those catchments, sub-catchments.
That was the Director General of Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, Clement Inze, speaking on flooding. All right, let's shift our attention to the judiciary. The Supreme Court has struck out the appeal of the Hope Democratic Party challenging the victory of President Muhammadu Buhari in the presidential election of February 23, 2019. The five-man panel of justices, led by Justice John Ariwola, ruled that the HDP suit was filed out of time. Olabode Arewa reports that the Supreme Court had on 4th October 2019 dismissed an appeal filed by the HDP, which sought to overturn the appellate court's judgment. The appellate court dismissed the party's petition for being incompetent, saying the HDP failed to prove that a referendum was purportedly conducted on the 16th of February 2019, where it won 50 million votes. Pursuant to Order 8, Rule 2 of the Supreme Court rules, cancelled to the HDP, Sunday Ezema filed 2 applications to release the suit before the Supreme Court. Cancelled to President Muhammadu Buhari, Wole Olanipekun, SAN, however, raised a preliminary objection, pointing out that the application was filed 61 days, contrary to Section 285, subsection 9 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which gave the Supreme Court only 60 days to entertain election appeals. The Apex Court thereafter struck out the matter with no cost to the appellant. And to road matters now, with a lane of tracks for the standard gauge rail line about 90% completed, federal government has begun pulling down the narrow gauge at the airport bus stop section, Ikeja, replacing it with standard gauge railway at the Lagos-Ibadan rail line. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi is currently at the site. And let's take a pause from this end as we go to our Lagos Network Center to join Michael. Hello, Michael.
Nigerian women have been charged to step out of their comfort zones and unleash the great potential God has given to them to enable them cater for themselves and to contribute more to the development of the country. This was the message of the First Lady, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Aisha Buhari, to the 2019 Arise Women's Conference in Lagos. Diana Ajali reports.
Indeed, it was a mind-blowing event for women and guests in attendance at the 11th edition of Arise Women Conference, as industries players, women in politics and spiritual leaders from different parts of the country converged on Lagos to brainstorm, network and chart a way forward for the Nigerian women.
I am also focusing my attention on the issue of gender-based violence due to the rampancy of the cases all over the country. We have a role to play in however small it is within our communities. All of us are going to do it together. One person can't do it. Somebody can be the captain, but then you need your team. You are a seed that God planted. And in planting you, he had a plan and an agenda.
Convener of the conference, Shiju Iluyomade, says it is time for Nigerian women to increase and multiply in every aspect of human endeavors.
We encourage women to gain economic power so that they can fend for themselves and their families.
Originated in 2008 with a vision and objective to cater for the needy and empower women across Nigeria, Arise Women Network has recorded a successful story with over 1,000 beneficiaries of Arise Women Vocational Skills Acquisition in Lagos. Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Now to agricultural matters. The need to fund agricultural research institutes as well as commercialize research outcomes and innovation have been identified as pertinent to the advancement of the nation's economy. Nendrut Nina Musa reports that this formed part of discussions at a forum for key players in the agricultural sector held in Lagos.
The idea behind this gathering is to acquaint key players with modalities to ensuring that the nation becomes self-reliant in the areas of food, job creation, and funding of research institutes. Organizers say in spite of the huge opportunities available in agriculture, the neglect of the sector has done a lot of harm to the economy.
When research findings are commercialized, it will boost the agricultural sector, it will boost food production, and also ensure food security.
We want them to really see the importance of research and agriculture in ensuring, for example, development in Nigeria.
The federal government should put in more efforts, more finances into agriculture.
Stakeholders commended the government for making efforts to revamp the agricultural sector.
We have to see how we can maximize the output from research along the whole value chain.
Unique practices that is incorporated under the climate smart agriculture, that the issue of looking at new varieties.
Some research institutions showcase their improved crop varieties with emphasis on the kind of technology employed. The conclusion at the end of the conference is for the current narrative to change by harnessing sustainable agricultural innovation for economic development as the way forward. In Lagos, Nairobi Nina Musa, NTA News.
On health, the National Assembly has been urged to expedite action in passing the Mental Health Bill, designed to update the laws guiding and regulating the practice of mental health in Nigeria. This was the submission of mental health practitioners at a book launch titled Optimal Health, Mental Health, an Everyday Guide in Lagos. The World Health Organization survey indicates that 1 out of every 4 persons will suffer from a mental health problem at some point in their lifetime. Thus, 40 million Nigerians are at risk of mental health problems. As a way of educating Nigerians and reduce the stigma associated with people suffering from mental health problems, the book, Optimum Mental Health, an Everyday Guide, was unveiled.
I unveiled this book to the glory of God.
The Director General, Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, Babatunde Salako, and other medical practitioners described the book as apt because it will go a long way in addressing issues arising from mental health problems, such as suicide and depression in the society.
I think we should begin to ask ourselves what impact, positive impact, I think we need to make in our community where we work. We need to make mental health a common word, a common language on the streets in every home.
It comes at a time when there's a gap in the advocacy, in the prevention.
The author, Dr. Jibril Abdulmalik, brought to speed the concept behind the book.
The spectrum is mental health promotion, prevention, and not just treatment alone.
It is expected that the 358-page book with 78 chapters will help to create more awareness on managing mental health challenges in Nigeria. That's our contribution from Lagos. Nationwide continues after the break. Do stay with us. Stay with us.
Quantity Surveyor Registration Board of Nigeria, in collaboration with the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, present a day seminar. Theme: Effective Cost Management in the Oil and Gas Sector. Date: Tuesday, 29th October 2019. Time: 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Venue: PTDF Building, number 2 Memorial Close, opposite Shehu Yadua Center, Central Area, Abuja. Special guest of honor: Timipriye Silva, Honorable Minister of State, Minister of Petroleum Resources, His Excellency Babatunde Raji Fashola, Honorable Minister of Works and Housing. Lectures will be delivered on the following thematic issues: cost optimization in the Nigerian oil sector by Roland O. Ewubari; cost management issues in the oil and gas industry by Dr. Uche Ajato; cost optimization in the Nigerian oil sector by Paul Magrat; contextualizing the quantity surveying profession within the oil and gas industry by Professor Ahmed Doko Ibrahim; cost engineering and cost control in the Nigeria oil and gas sector by Engineer Johnson Awuyomi. For inquiries and reservations, please call 08108 971 925. Muritala M. Aliyu, President, QSRBN, and Dr. Bello Aliyu Gusau, Executive Secretary, PTDF, announcers.
Fallout of the Russia-Africa Summit, the gains for Nigeria. That's the focus this week on NTA Tuesday Live. The program every Tuesday is incisive and informative. Don't miss it.
When you think about hospitality and affordable luxury away from home, then you talk about Sharon Ultimate Hotels, a secured and serene environment that offers kingly services such as 24-hour room service, impeccable security with CCTV surveillance, parking lots, free Wi-Fi internet service, free complimentary breakfast, restaurants that offers continental and local dishes, well-equipped fitness center with instructors, swimming pool, 350 capacity multipurpose hall, laundry service, pastry corner, mini mart, and our suites are breathtaking. For reservation, locate us at plot 1710 Tafawa Balewa Way, Area 3, Garikia, Abuja. Sharon Ultimate Hotels, the ultimate place.
Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit 2019 holds on the 6th to the 8th of November 2019. The summit will take place at the Banquet Hall Presidential Villa, Abuja, Nigeria. Theme: Leveraging diaspora resources for economic growth. Sectors: agribusiness, education, training, healthcare, entertainment, sports, hospitality and tourism, infrastructure and real estate, manufacturing, extractive industries, telecommunications, technology and innovation, waste management and environmental remediation, transportation. For registration, visit www.ndis.gov.ng. For participation and sponsorship, please call 090-177-008, 0817-2244-660. Convened by the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission.
An award that has succeeded to pool a galaxy of stars from the north, south, east to the west, and central Africa, and also those that are domiciled beyond the shores of Africa under one roof.
Thanks for staying with NTA. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has appeared before the Senate Committee on Culture and Tourism to defend the 2020 budget proposal for the ministry. Anthony Forson will tell us more.
Opening with the sector's performance in 2019, which saw Nigeria putting up a strong appearance on the international scene, the minister said special project on innovative creative industries was embarked upon, just as it collaborated with the British Council on capacity building for festival and carnival managers and the mapping of creative industries in Nigeria. He explained that the sum of 880,507,000 was appropriated for the sector in 2019 to carry out 14 projects.
Mr. Chairman, sir, out of the appropriated sum of 449,559,921 naira, the sum of 251,924,498 has been released.
For 2020, the sum of 731,428,000 has been budgeted.
Our take, sir, is that, and here we are on the same page with you, sir, that tourism and culture is not just about monuments, it is actually about creativity as a whole. And what we try to do, we try to leverage on those areas of our creativity where we have competitive advantage, especially in the areas of music, in the areas of the film industry, in the areas of theater and performance.
It's a must do, because it's obvious that oil can no longer meet our need, our yearnings for the development of our nation. But made comparisons with countries like UAE and China, Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, and many countries. And we saw how they're doing well with their tourism. And we have more natural tourism than most places in the world.
In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And from legislature, we move to health. People-centered approach is paramount to achieving quality health services, thereby bringing the nation closer to meeting global target for the elimination of HIV and AIDS by the year 2030. Director General, National Agency for the Control of AIDS, Dr. Gambo Aliyu, stated this at the inauguration of the South-South Zonal Office of the agency in Uyo. Uduak Etem has more.
The recently released Nigeria HIV/AIDS Indicator and Impact Survey pegged the country's prevalence rate at 1.4%. It is the target of National Agency for the Control of AIDS towards ending the HIV epidemic by 2030. Pursuant to this is why the National Agency for the Control of AIDS is expanding its coast with the inauguration of the South-South Zonal Office in Uyo to boost its field operation.
NACA now is coming very close, closer to communities, closer to states. We are decentralizing, and we are decentralizing for one purpose. Having this office in Akwa Ibom, it means we can reach all the states in the South-South faster.
The HIV response is non-discriminatory. It doesn't depend who you are, what lifestyle you live. There are services that are available.
The National Program Officer, Joint United Nations Program on HIV and AIDS, Dr. Idayat Uthman, and other stakeholders promised to continually partner NACA to fast-track the control of AIDS.
I wish to pledge the UN commitment in ensuring effective coordination of HIV response.
NACA will be with us regularly. We have quick access to them. They will give us more support than before.
It is the hope of key stakeholders that with the inauguration of NACA zonal offices across the country will further enhance the response efforts as NACA enters the last mile phase in the fight to eliminate the virus. In Uyo, NTA News.
In other news, Africa's working population is projected to increase from 705 million to almost 1 billion by 2030. And this poses a great challenge to job creation for citizens. Africa Development Bank is recommending bridging of skills gap and skills mismatch as one of the several means to mitigate the challenges. Now, these recommendations are contained in a report on creating decent jobs presented by the bank. Let's hear from Onye Fineface.
Africa Development Bank, ADB's report on creating decent jobs, they are being presented to provide solutions to Nigeria and Africa's job creation deficit. Some limitations to the creation of decent jobs identified by the report include insufficient demands for formal sector jobs, decline in manufacturing, high transaction costs which impede competitiveness of firms, and skills mismatch.
The bank's report on creating decent jobs, strategies, policies, and instruments
provides several strategies, relevant policies, and effective instruments that we believe are relevant to the unique challenge of creating millions of decent jobs in Africa.
Therefore, the reality for Nigeria is the need for an urgent reversal of the trend by putting in place and effectively implementing favorable strategies, policies, and instruments to solve the problem in a sustainable manner.
Of greater interest are the recommendations that pursuing macroeconomic policies and implementing labor-intensive public work programs would go a long way to create decent jobs for Nigerians.
Include industrial parks, agro-processing zones, special export processing areas. So these have the potential to create a significant number of jobs.
The report, Africa Development Bank says, has bearing on its priority areas to power, feed, industrialize, integrate, and improve the living conditions of Africans. In Abuja, Onengiye Fineface, NT News.
Let's now go to our Jos Network Center to join Caleb for more reports. How are you doing, Caleb?
I'm good, Ruth. Thank you. Welcome to Jos. Traditional and religious leaders converged on the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, KURU, to brainstorm on challenges of primary health care delivery and ways of improving health care in the country. The round table was at the instance of the closing ceremony of participants of Course 41 NIPS KURU. Ijoma Ozomina has the details.
Convener of the event and Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Sarad Abubakar, said the health system is characterized by inadequate human resources, facilities, and financial resources.
At the Spring Council, we have an NGO or two, which was wanted just like a champ, dealing with healthcare. We have a document by Spring Council talking about how do we stop the prevalence of AIDS and other diseases in our society at the Islamic level.
The 9-point communique of the deliberations emphasized the role of traditional and religious leaders as the most potent link between the formal governmental institutions and citizens who are beneficiaries of these policies, plans, and programs.
The need for change of narratives by policymakers and implementers, as well as society organizations, in advocacy on issues of population management, school children, health insurance, with religious clergy, particularly Muslim clergy, to win the heart and minds of the ordinary citizens.
Director General of NIPS, Professor Habu Galadima, said the team is apt considering health challenges faced by the country. Fans of the Course 41 were optimistic that the challenges will be addressed as soon as possible. From NIPS KURU, Ijoma Ozemina, NTA News.
And still on health, medical experts are calling for increased awareness and public enlightenment on the symptoms and risk factors of cancer as key in the prevention and treatment of the deadly disease. This was during a walk along the major streets of Jos, organized to commemorate the week-long cancer awareness event. Rinred Sylvanus Lord has the details.
Women, children, and men came out in their numbers to take part in the awareness exercise, which began with some workouts and a talk on the basics about the life-threatening ailment, stressing the point that people should adopt a healthy lifestyle.
Smoking should be avoided. Alcohol, preferably, should be moderate. If you abuse it, it can harm your liver. You can also have cancer of the stomach. So with the chronic irritation the alcohol will give your stomach, it also predisposes it to what? The cancer of the stomach, cancer of the pancreas, and so many like that. So our what we eat, our physical activity, it's very, very important. So you eat healthy.
Initiator of the walk said her experiences with cancer patients led her to create the awareness, being that many suffer this ailment in silence.
You don't even know the causes of cancer now. It's not well known. So those are diseases that the government are supposed to help people that are infected with such diseases.
The walk began from the Secretariat Junction through Joseph Gomwalk Road and culminated at the Gadabiu Bridge. Handbills were shared and the group interfaced with women and children on the street. In Jos, Rinret Silvanus Lot, NTA News.
To guarantee food sufficiency and security, farmers across Nigeria affected by flood, conflict and other natural disasters were given improved variety of seeds and seedlings to boost farm yields. This is under the Emergency Agricultural Intervention Fund, carried out by the National Emergency Management Agency. David Ejioshun reports that the agency was in Jos North local government to assess some farms that benefited from the intervention.
Kabiru Abbas is one of the beneficiaries of the Emergency Agricultural Intervention Funds provided for rice farmers in Jos North local government area of Plateau State. He is among the 12,000 targeted farmers in the state being monitored by NEMA to ensure adequate utilization of the assistance given to them. The visit therefore afforded him opportunity to show the team the farm, which he said is doing well.
There is no time that we have cultivated and see a good yield until this year. And I thank our president, Buhari.
With what we have seen, those who have lost one thing or the other because of the conflict, they have, they are now developing some level of resilience, ensuring that they can stand on their own. That is the purpose. It is a support, it's a grant, it's not a loan, and it is from the federal government.
The Emergency Agricultural Fund, EAIF, is sponsored by the federal government to provide succor for farmers through provision of improved variety of seeds and seedlings, especially for cash crops, and in some cases breeds of livestock to foster growth, performance, and yields of farm produce. This is towards mitigating the effect of disasters on agriculture across the country. David Ijashon, NTA News.
And that's it from Jos. Ruth, it's back to you.
Thanks, Caleb. And still talking agri, but we head into Kano, where we hear that the federal government is working towards reviving alien and moribund rice mills across the country. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mohammed Sabo Nanono, disclosed this during an interactive session with representatives of farmers in Kano. Abdullahi Mustafa has the report.
Although he is from the state, this is the first time Mohammed Sabo Nanono is visiting Kano on official assignment since his assumption of office as Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development. The official visit is primarily to interact with farmers and stakeholders in various agricultural value chains. Salient issues raised include increased supply of inputs, cutting down cost of production, enhancement of technical know-how, and development of more irrigation infrastructure. Another critical issue was the need for the revival of collapsed rice mills, which the minister identified as a top priority in the next level agenda of President Muhammadu Buhari. This, he disclosed, is in addition to the establishment of 632 agricultural service centers across the country and engagement of additional extension workers, whose number is critically low.
And obviously with that, probably in the next 2 to 3 years, we will see revolution in the agricultural sector.
While in Kano, the minister visited the Doano International Grains Market, where he briefed traders on the planned introduction of quarantine services to ensure quality and wholesomeness of foodstuff being sold to local and international markets. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
And to religious matters now, former head of state General Yakubu Gowon has called on Nigerians to support the federal government's effort at promoting economic stability and prosperity in the country through fervent prayers and patriotism. The former head of state made the call in Kaduna during the North Central Prayer Rally organized by Nigeria Praise. Mohammed Umar Ajingi reports.
Members of Nigeria Press, including 35-year Solomon Lazi, who traveled all the way from Akwa Ibom State in prayers for divine intervention over all challenges confronting the nation.
I'm dressing like this because Nigeria is my home, it's my country. I have no any other place than Nigeria, so I'm very happy, I'm very proud of Nigeria.
The former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, says the Buhari administration is committed to tackling the challenges, hence the need for support by all Nigerians.
I want all Nigerians to love one another and to ensure that they keep Nigeria one, united and happy.
Earlier, the Nigeria press delegation led by General Gawan was at the Government House Kaduna, where the acting governor Hadiza Balarabel told the members that the state government has taken measures to contain violent clashes through peace-building initiatives and reconciliation among various communities.
The state established the Peace Commission to spearhead peace initiatives and is working in a collaborative manner with the Kaduna Center for the Study of Muslim-Christian Relations to teach people religious tolerance.
The Nigeria press was initiated in 1996. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Marajigi, NTA News.
And from Kaduna, we head to Port Harcourt to join Dibabari for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Dibabari.
Thank you, Ruth, and welcome to Port Harcourt. 8 suspects arrested by the Nigerian Navy are currently under the custody of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps for further interrogation into alleged illegal escort duties and without relevant papers to operate within the nation's maritime. Kingsley Ahmad reports that the Nigerian Navy handed over the suspects along a vessel MV Workforce to NSCDC.
NNS Pathfinder on regular patrol of the waterways intercepted the vessel MV Workforce on alleged illegal escort duties with 8 crew members alongside 2 armed security personnel. Investigation by the Nigerian Navy revealed that they were operating illegally and were subsequently detained. This handover to the NSCDC is in line with the harmonized standard operating procedure for security agencies.
For you to operate as a private maritime security vessels, they are supposed to be registered first with the CAC, Corporate Affairs Commission, and the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps. And at the same time, you are supposed to have an existing memorandum of understanding with the Nigerian Navy. So at the time of the arrest, the vessel was actually escorting MV Osamwe to an offshore oil rig without the appropriate papers from the Nigerian Navy.
The Nigerian Navy insists it will continue to make the waterways a no-go area for criminal elements, promising legitimate investors of a safe haven for their operations. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps Rivers State Command's fight against illegal crude oil dealings has again resulted in the arrest and parade of 23 suspects alongside 19 vehicles loaded with suspected petroleum products. Rabin Sidrata reports that some of the arrests were made by sister security agencies.
The suspects and exhibits were arrested between September and October 2019 from different locations within Rivers State. The anti-vandals team of the NNCDC intercepted 2 trucks, a petroleum tanker, and a Mercedes-Benz loaded with suspected petroleum products.
It is hoped that with the aggressive resistance of the Corps in checkmating the activities of illegal oil bunkering in the state, the issue of illegal dealings in petroleum products will be drastically reduced to the barest minimum in the state.
The synergy between the NNCDC and the military resulted in troops of Operation Delta Save handing over 12 suspects operating illegal refineries, 2 cars, and a motorcycle. The commandant urged the public not to relent in supplying the Corps with useful information to end illegal bunkering in the state. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Delateide, NTA News.
Ahead of the 2019 Yuletide, the Federal Road Safety Corps has adopted new strategies to achieve 0 crashes on Nigerian roads at the sectorial workshop for special marshals. In Akwa Ibom State, Corps Marshal Boboye Ayeyemi says there is no excuse for violation of traffic rules. Clement Barikwi takes the story from here.
The challenges of road traffic crashes and its attendant injuries, damages and losses have remained a source of concern for stakeholders, particularly in view of the number of deaths recorded each year. For instance, in 2018 alone, the Federal Road Safety Corps recorded about 2,000 deaths to road crashes, most of which are avoidable. There is therefore no better way to prepare for the 2019 Yuletide than self-appraisal, which this sectorial workshop for special marshals in Akwa Ibom State is aimed at.
We will be compelled to pay the a price for not obeying the law.
The South Zonal Commanding Officer of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Kingsley Agumu, who represented the Corps Marshal, Boboyo Yeyemi, emphasized that the only challenge the Corps is determined to nip in the bud is willingness of road users to obey traffic rules.
We are also going to intensify all our enforcement and then work out strategies on how to embark on our Operation Zero, which is coming up towards the end of the year, and even Ember Month campaign.
In the FRC, we set standard for everybody. If you say people should obey the law, we in the FRC ensure that all FRC staff obey the law first.
In Uyo, Clement Barikui, NTA News.
And that does it from Port Harcourt. It's back to Route 4, the rest of the news. Good evening.
Thanks, Dibabari. Welcome back to Abuja. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, the governors of Lagos, Oyo and Ogun states, as well as some notable Nigerians were honored by the Alumni Association of the University of Lagos over the weekend. Now, the event climaxed the activities marking the association's Golden Jubilee with the theme Driving Nigeria's Sustainable Development Agenda. Let's hear from State House correspondent Jide Onifade.
Congratulations. It was indeed a golden moment for an alumni association with an array of distinguished Nigerians as members. Take, for instance, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, with many other members of the National Assembly as members. The association also has not less than 7 serving governors as members. And these are just a few of them contributing to the development of the Nigerian society in all spheres.
We're everywhere, and I think that what the future calls for is for us to dedicate ourselves to the service of this great institution, to ensure that this great institution becomes greater and greater still, and to the service of our country.
Members are not also forgetting to give back to their alma mater, the University of Lagos, either collectively or individually.
We need your support in 3 areas. 1, sowing into the life of the students.
And what are we asking for? Let us run the school. Let us bring it back to what it was before 1979. And I believe that the government is listening to us. So alumni, the idea that federal government will fund university education, the idea that we will just behave as we like, the idea that its government resources must die this evening.
No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted.
Special recognition was also given to other Nigerians who are not necessarily alumni of the university, but who are equally driving on the path of progress for the nation.
5-0.
That report was by Jide Onifade. What a nostalgic feel there. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back on Nationwide, so don't go anywhere.
The new edition of TV Guide is out, exclusively taking a look at the traditional television and new media. Are they comparable or complementary? Media industry players give perspective on the trends, progress, challenges, and the way forward. Find out on this compelling edition of TV Guide. Expository interviews with stars of the team within our space. Becky Madajemo of NTA, Tibel More of AIT, Nifemi Oguntai of TVC, and a host of others. TV Guide, your indispensable companion. Also feature Yam Medina.
I'm the CEO, managing director of Yam Medina Sister Restaurant. I do to serve. Shut up your mouth. Let me finish.
A TV drama series on NTA. Let's get to meet the characters behind Iyamodina. This edition also presents exciting features on tourism, culture, entertainment, sports, health, and lots more. Grab a copy at the vendors near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
The NTA and the village headmaster family are pleased to announce the commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the award-winning Village Headmaster television series. Monday, 28 October 2019, command performances of the Village Headmaster at the Terraculture Arena, Victoria Island, Lagos. Red carpet, 5 p.m. and live performance, 6 p.m. Tuesday, 29th October 2019 at 10 a.m. Roundtable discussion at Freedom Park, Broad Street, Lagos. Theme: Drama, a tool for national development. Chief host Alhaji Lai Mohammed, Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, supported by the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed. Join the NTA and the Village Headmaster family as we celebrate this Golden Jubilee. Attendance at both events is strictly by invitation. Announcer, Organizing Committee.
About to witness the commencement of the most stimulating and compelling contest on television. This contest is only for the strong, the intelligent, and the talented. Get ready for the Unity Challenge reality TV show. Coming soon.
Was made in Africa with the birth of the first television station, WNTV, in Ibadan, Nigeria, on October 31, 1959.
I have great pleasure in formally launching Western Nigeria television first in Africa.
Television in Africa clocked 60 this year. It's time to celebrate this remarkable achievement. Various activities are lined up: photo exhibition, a colloquium, public presentation of broadcasting books, and a gala night. Be part of these events, powered by Foundation for Ibadan Television Anniversary Celebrations, FITAC,
and supported by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Thanks for staying tuned. Let's now head to Maiduguri to join Abubakar for more reports. Hello, Abubakar.
It's good to see you, Ruth, and thank you for joining us in Maiduguri. Fadama farming has commenced in Dikwa and other surrounding communities after it was put to a halt for over 6 years due to insurgency. Towards achieving success of the program, Borno State Ministry of Agriculture, in collaboration with Dikwa local government, are supporting farmers cultivating guinea corn and rice in the area. Mohammed Goni reports.
The present administration has, since assumption of office, emphasized the need to revive the agricultural sector to ensure food sufficiency, as well as reduce over-dependence on food aids from humanitarian and donor partners. Towards this end, farmers at IDP camps and host communities are being supported to return to farm on those areas declared safe. Jikwa and other communities around the shores of Lake Chad had been known for fadama and irrigation farming since time immemorial, but the lingering security challenges put a stop to all these practices in the last 6 years. The return to farm policy of government has been applauded by farmers in the area, who appreciated the political will and commitment of the authorities, which they said enabled them to cultivate. Governor Babagana Omar, who was conducting around the cultivated areas, expressed satisfaction with what he saw and made commitment to cover more areas in the next season.
This year, we embark on mass cultivation of land. Government has cultivated about 10,000 hectares of land, in addition to over 30,000 hectares that have been cultivated in areas that were not under cultivation last year. We are here in this town purposely to see how far they have gone.
The local government caretaker chairman Rawagwani made a case for deployment of agro rangers to the area to safeguard farmers and their produce, as well as provision of insecticide to control quilla birds. Governor Babagana Umara has on his way to Dikwa had a stopover at Ajiri village to inspect ongoing construction of 500 housing units, where he assured readiness of his administration to resettle the community. In Maiduguri, Mahamat Goni, NTA News.
Aliko Dangote is to commence construction of Dikwa, Ngala and Bama Banki roads in Borno State under the Order 7 of the federal government. This was brought to the fore during Governor Babagana Umara's 2-day walking visit to Dikwa town, headquarters of Dikwa local government area of Borno State. Here again is Mohammed Goni with more details of the story.
It will be recalled that Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umara met Aliko Dangote 2 weeks ago to discuss construction of Dikwa Gamborungala and the Bama Banki Road in line with Order 7 of the federal government, under which Aliko Dangote will use the tax payable to the federal government to embark on the project.
These two roads are major roads in Borno State which are linking to the Republic of Cameroon, to the Republic of Chad, and other nations in the world. If these two roads are being constructed, it will reduce the menace of the insurgency by about 50%.
The dilapidated condition of the two international roads has hampered socio-economic activities in the region, and the situation is further compounded by the lingering security challenges. At the show of Dikwa's Palace, the governor assured the monarch and other stakeholders in the area that a team of engineers has arrived to assess the road and that the project will be completed in 1 year. Sheikh of Dikwa, Muhammad Ibn Mastad II El-Kanemi, appreciated the governor for the developmental project in his domain and assured of continued support to the present administration. Governor Babagana Umara also inspected Sheikh of Dikwa's Palace, where he directed immediate rehabilitation work on the edifice. He was also at the renovated Dikwa Holiday Resort, converted to Skill Acquisition Center, where he stressed commitment of his administration to train youth in various skills, rehabilitate and equip primary and secondary school to educate the over 250 children in the area. The governor directed that mega school in Dikwa should be converted to a girls' day secondary school, while Teachers College Dikwa will be rehabilitated and made secondary school for boys, the work of which he said would be captured in 2020 budgets. In Maiduguri, Mahamat Goni, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Let's take a break now to bring you more stories shortly.
Thank you, Abubakar. We're not going on any break or continuing. Thank you. All right. People with special needs in Nigeria advocating equal opportunities in all human endeavors, especially in politics. Now, these clusters of persons living with disability and the albinos were at the headquarters of the National Orientation Agency as strategic partners in driving their message. Let's hear from Ikechukwu Ndukwe.
John Paul is a blind man who, despite of his potentials, is discriminated against by many in his community.
Once you're blind, you are nobody, you cannot do anything in life, which is not so. There is ability in disability. Most of us, like the blind, are musicians, some are newscasters.
This is the same story with Suleiman Oja, who always go with an interpreter in order to converse with other publics. These clusters of people with special needs suffer discrimination and exclusion from key positions in the society. Their messages are clear: inclusion into all key decision-making bodies of government and implementation of People with Disabilities Act 2019.
We came to engage anyway so that we can use their platform to disseminate some of the work that we have done in the electoral process, in the social space, and also in the economic space.
To commit myself to actually reinvigorating that part and see that we actually work together so closely as to achieve a common mission and a common purpose.
These clusters of people with special needs want Nigerians to start seeing them as people with disabilities, rather as critical stakeholders in the development of the nation. Ikechukwu Ndukwe, NTA News.
And talking sports now.